There are 4,218 PS2 games, and I've got to beat every one of them. I've got to own the game because I'm playing on the original hardware, but I've beefed it up using a RetroTink 5X, some component cables, and more to come soon. Can I do this before I die of old age? I hope so. LEGO Star Wars was released March 29th, 2005 on the Xbox, PS2, PC, Game Boy Advance, and later on Mac and GameCube. Developed by Traveler's Tales, this would be their first licensed LEGO game in this style, and it would be the base for the many, many others they made after. Can I force push my way to the credits? Let's find out. Thank you to Call Me Mike for suggesting LEGO Star Wars and LEGO Star Wars 2, a game I'm actually in the middle of right now while making this video. LEGO Star Wars is a shorter game. Not only that, but it functions very similarly to the Lord of the Rings game I played earlier on this channel. So this will be a much shorter video, mostly because the story of Star Wars is either known by someone or not known, and this game kind of butchers the story for the sake of a shorter game that you can sit down and play. And that's not a bad thing, don't get me wrong. Just like the Lord of the Rings game, it doesn't contain the entire story. It would be way too long of a game, which is also why I won't sit here and explain it to you. The Star Wars movies are available now and you can go see them, but there is a lot missing from the game itself. You will not be able to understand the Star Wars story just by playing this game, and that's okay. But if you enjoy sitting down and playing a pretty simple game where not only can you not lose, but you can play with anybody and they can just hit a couple buttons and have a good time, this is the perfect game. This first LEGO Star Wars game covers The Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, and Revenge of the Sith. It does have like a little bonus level from A New Hope, which is movie number 4, but that's not something I played. You've got to collect a lot of collectibles, which this game is known for, and then you can play it, but it also wasn't necessary for me to beat the game. As I said before, this game is very simple. There's a jump button, there's an attack button, there's a special ability button, and there's a build button. Everyone has the build button except for droids. Everyone has a jump button except for a few droids. Everyone has an attack button except for a few droids, and everyone has a special ability button. And the special abilities are shared by most of the characters. If you are a Force user, a Jedi, or a Sith, then you're going to use Force powers. If you are a bounty hunter or pretty much anyone else using a gun, you can use bounty hunter abilities like a grappling hook. Most droids do have a special ability, but it's usually just opening doors or fixing something. And that's it. You go around each of the levels, destroying everything you can on the way through the story, seeing familiar places and people and things until you make it all the way through one of the stories of the movies. As far as I know, there's no actual way to lose a level. You die and respawn as many times as you need. Even though you do have 4 hearts of health, I think it's more for just, you know, feeling like there's a loss of progress, even though there really isn't. Whenever you die, you start right from where you died and you can continue on. Except unless you have some kind of item that you need held, then you gotta go back and grab it again, but that's really not that bad. This game can be played couch co-op, which it is most known for, as well as the collectibles. You'll be collecting things throughout the game, several different things that will help you unlock characters and some extra things behind the scenes, just a lot of stuff. And it does take a lot longer to collect everything in the game than it does to just beat it, which is good. Obviously, it would be kind of weird if it took the same amount of time. It'd be a real short game. But if you like collecting things, you can collect as much as you need, unlock all of the characters in the game, and when you do unlock those characters, you can play each level again in free play mode, which allows you to use any character in any level for any reason. And you can see some extra cool things. Some levels as you go through have doors that can only be opened by certain characters that you would never have at this point. But if you're playing free mode and you've unlocked that character or that type of character, you can use them and unlock that door to then get the extra collectibles you couldn't before. It's kind of an interesting way to handle collectibles, and it doesn't feel too bad either. There's a lot to do, and each level is packed full of things to destroy, things to build, things to use your abilities on that will give you studs, which is pretty much like the money, and all the other collectibles in the game. This game took me around 3.5 hours to beat entirely. It's a very short first game they have. The second one is not nearly this short. They have a lot more to it, which is fine, but it was a very solid 3.5 hours, and it's just fun. I don't know, man. You just push some buttons, you get to have a lightsaber, you get to have some guns, you get to jump around and have a good time. I definitely recommend this for pretty much anyone who wants a short, easy, fun game, especially one with collectibles, because it's a great game. There's not really too many downsides except for the fact that you don't get to spend a lot of time with it. It's like $1.99 to buy this physical, and then you have it forever. So if you have a PS2, I recommend it. This may be a short video, but honestly, it's a short game. I didn't want to waste a lot of time because because a lot of people already know about it, and if you don't, this is all you need to know. The rest of it's just up to you. Do you want to watch Star Wars and get the understanding of the story? If you don't have to. You can jump around and hit shit. It's a good time. But thank you, Mike, for suggesting this and for suggesting the second one, which we're doing right now. And after that, Final Fantasy X, we've got Half-Life, we've got a lot of stuff coming up. So thank you everyone who stayed and watched this very short video. Thank you everyone who is on the YouTube memberships and the Patreon memberships. You guys have made all this possible. I mean, there's a lot of games that you guys have chosen and I keep just picking them up. We have so many good games coming out. Everyone keeps picking great games to play. This is super fun. So thank you everyone, and I'll be back again for Final Fantasy X next. Later.